everybody, I'm Dr. Angel Storm. I'm the founder of Ashes to Beauty Ministries, and today I am talking to you about the importance of nutrition when you are in the process of recovering from narcissistic abuse. And obviously nutrition is super important all of the time. There's not a time in your life when what you eat isn't important. But especially when you are recovering from trauma, nutrition is especially important. Your body is starting to relearn a lot of different things. It needs to learn what a healthy relationship feels like, what it looks like. You're going to have to retrain your brain to know that constant conflict and chaos is not normal, and that you shouldn't be comfortable when all of that kind of stuff is happening, but that it's okay to be peaceful. It's okay to have a calm or tranquil environment. It's okay for you to put yourself first. It's okay to have a regular self-care routine. All of those types of things you're starting to learn or relearn. And while you are doing this, there's a lot of shifting that's happening in your body. When you're with a narcissist, you'll form a trauma bond, and this is true for a lot of abuse situations. You'll form a trauma bond, meaning that there is a biochemical reaction that's happening in your body that bonds you to the narcissist. So your brain will start releasing chemicals and flooding your system with different chemicals that causes you to essentially become addicted to the narcissist. So while you're in the process of relearning everything that you have gone through, healing from all of that trauma that you have gone through, your body is also needing to learn a new normal. It's going to need to learn that you don't have to be busy all of the time, that you don't have to have something going on constantly, that it's okay to rest and relax. And while you're trying to train your body, you need to be feeding it food that will support this kind of transformation that you are wanting to have take place. So I wrote this ebook. It is part of this bundle that you can get, and this is all about cleanses and how to detoxify your system once you are coming out of a relationship with a narcissist. So cleaning out your system, getting rid of the old, making space for the new is really important, even in your physical body. So that ebook is included in that second bundle in case you're interested in learning more about how to do what I'm about to talk to you about. The link to all of that is in the description of this video too. So when you are relearning these kinds of things, you're retraining your brain. By the way, your brain consumes an incredible amount of calories. Out of however much energy you need to keep you alive each day, your brain needs 20% of whatever it is that you consume. 20% of your energy goes into your brain. So that's a normal day. Now imagine that you're trying to retrain it, all of these bad behaviors. You know, you want to get rid of those ones. You want to replace it with healthy behaviors, healthy thought patterns, and remove toxic memories. All of that stuff, your brain is consuming an incredible amount of calories. You need to make sure that you are feeding your body healthy food during this time. Your body is completely comprised of whatever you feed it. Like the old adage of you are what you eat is so true. Every single cell in your body is made up of whatever you feed it. So you can't feed it junk food all of the time and think that your body should respond to you, and think that you can tell it what to do, and think that you can make your brain have healthy thoughts. When you're feeding it junk, you know, junk in, junk out. Don't expect to get something that you didn't put into it in the first place. You know, it's like sowing seeds into a field. If I want to have corn popping up, I'm not planting soybeans, right? And so you need to realize that whatever it is that you're putting in is what you're going to get out. And especially in the time of healing, you know, you want your body to be healing from these toxic chemicals that your own brain has dumped into its system. You want your body to be healing from maybe even physical trauma if you've been abused physically in your relationship with a narcissist. So think about how you want your body to heal. How could you feed your body dollar menu items and expect to have an amazing recovery and expect to see true transformation, real results? Isn't going to happen. That's not going to happen. And so being aware of what you specifically need and how you run, so for example, I'm vegetarian and I've been vegetarian for a long time, since 2007. And for a long period of time, for about 6 years, I was vegan, and I was raw vegan. So I didn't eat anything cooked. And that was too crazy for me. It got to the point where my body wasn't healing anymore because I wasn't getting enough nutrients into my system, even though I was very aware of what I needed, and I made sure to take vitamins and supplements and all of that. It wasn't enough for me. And so once I became vegetarian, once I went back to being a vegetarian from being vegan, my body loves being vegetarian, and I've been vegetarian and have had no problems. I've deployed since I was vegetarian, been in Afghanistan since then. I made 2 babies at one time being vegetarian. And I know that my body works best this way. I know that my body loves to have a certain number of protein, a certain number of grams of protein every day. I know the foods that my body responds to the best, but I had a clean slate to be able to tell what foods my body was going to respond to the best, because I had been eating so clean before I went back to being vegetarian, because I didn't eat anything cooked. I only ate raw food. I only ate food that grew in the ground. My body was like a blank slate to really learn what am I going to respond to the best. So for y'all, when you are going through this process, really take a look at what is your normal. Like, what do you normally eat? Make a list. Like, don't just think this in your head, because if you actually write down what you normally eat, you're going to surprise yourself. You're going to shock yourself with what and how much probably that you're consuming. So this is what I recommend, is making a list and then start eliminating certain foods from your diet and replacing them with something healthier. So let's say, for example, that every lunch you go through a drive-through. Instead of doing that, could you replace that meal with a shake, with a smoothie? Could you make a juice? Could you do a cleanse? Instead, could you pack a meal your own self? Could you pack yourself a salad and a soup combo? Could you make a sandwich ahead of time? Whatever it is that you want to do, because I don't want you to feel like you need to overhaul everything all at once, because that can be very overwhelming. Start by just eliminating one food group at a time, and see how your body likes that. So I had a client the other day, and we were talking about this because he was really interested in getting back into eating healthy and knowing how to eat for him personally, for his own body, and not just like what everybody else says you need to be eating. And he was feeling really bad. He was doing a cleanse, and he was set up with somebody who does cleanses. So like a company would deliver him the juice that he needed for that day each day. And he was feeling really bad, and he was like, I feel horrible. And what you need to realize is that while you are cleansing, so if you are skipping, eliminating one thing at a time, and you're like, no, I need a hard reset, I'm just going to do a cleanse, then expect that as you flood your cells with the good nutrition, so you're flooding your cells, you're literally pushing every cell full of nutrients through the juices that you're going to do with the cleanses, you're also pushing out and to the top all of the things that you've been eating, all the things you've been feeling, those hormones, all the chemicals that your brain has released out of your system. So you're going to feel really bad for about 3 days. Your body is literally eliminating all of the waste in all of its cells. And so you need to be prepared that it's gonna not feel good for a little while, for those few days, and you'll be able to see it in your skin. Sometimes people will have rashes. Sometimes people will have bad acne, or just other things, in addition to feeling bad, you may look like you're not doing well. And that is a sign of all of the toxins that have been building up in your system. So I live a lifestyle of fasting. I fast all of the time, and I just do water fast. So my body is used to being cleaned out on a regular basis. My body is used to having a break from eating, a break from digesting food, and just having water and having that time to reset. My body is on this schedule and it knows how to do this. But when I first started fasting, sometimes I would, depending on what I was doing in between fasts, I would break out. Some people have their sleep patterns disrupted because, you're used to either eating at a certain time and you're no longer doing that, or you're used to eating a certain type of food that would essentially put you into a food coma and make you go to sleep, and you're not doing that anymore. So sometimes you're going to have to relearn not just new healthy eating patterns, but a new rhythm, a new pattern of how life is going to go for you. When you're healthy all around. And so be aware of those things, because that could be something that you could expect when you start to eat healthy, and especially if you start to do a cleanse. Science already tells us that eating healthy will automatically make your body recover from injuries faster and quicker and better, like more completely. And so imagine if we can see that on like the big things, how well your knee heals after a surgery, for example. Think about what it's doing to every single cell that's getting used to having bad hormones, bad chemicals pumped into it, along with the poor nutrition maybe that you were used to having. And now you're giving every single cell the ability to relearn, to remember something different, to be attracted to something that's healthy, both naturally, like your taste buds will change and you'll want to eat that food, but also physically, to another person. Whatever it was that attracted you to the narcissist, you get another opportunity to literally wipe the slate clean and to retrain everything about you to be attracted to healthy, to things that are going to take care of you, to things that are going to help you support yourself, your goals, your life vision, your family, all of that stuff. You get the opportunity now when you leave the narcissist through nutrition to not only heal more completely, but make sure that in the future you're not repeating the same mistakes, that you have a healthy way of going about doing life moving forward. And so this is super important. I believe in the body, soul, and spirit approach to everything in life, but especially to recovering from a narcissist. So I've talked a lot about soul ties and why you won't move on if you don't cut those soul ties completely. I've talked a lot about your spirit, knowing your true identity and being connected to not just who you are, but the source of who you are, really nurturing your relationship with God. And your body is also so important. So if you have one of those three things working against you because you're feeding it bad food, think about the effects that that's having on the way that you're trying to move forward in the spirit, or the way things that you are trying to do for your emotional health, your soul realm. So think about the things that are warring with one another when you don't have all three working in harmony and getting in unison. So in my opinion, it's almost pointless to work on the rest of the things if you're not willing to make a change in all three areas, in all three realms, because you are comprised of all three components, and you need to address all three components when you're coming out of a narcissistic relationship or abuse of any kind of trauma. And if you leave one of those open, then you still have literally a third of you working against the other one or two parts that you're trying to work on, that you're trying to heal, that you're trying to advance. So really being aware of what you're eating in the time that you are leaving the narcissist, in the time that you are rebuilding your life after narcissism, is really super important. And if you want to check out, again, that bundle, you can do that. The link is in the description. And if you want to also follow me on Pinterest, the link to that is in the description as well. I have a whole board on there about easy things that you can make, healthy things that you can make for yourself that are that you should either be able to do with all of the equipment that you have at home. And I have a bunch of options in there that are really for people who are on a budget. So if you are like, I want to eat healthy, but I don't have the money, stop making excuses, get on Pinterest and go check out that board, because I have a lot of options on there. And the other thing I want to point out is that I have a free ebook on my website. It's called Smoothie Bowls, in case you are interested in learning about smoothie bowls. And I love them. I make them all of the time, and how to start getting ahead on that. There's a grocery list in there, there's an equipment list on there, so you can get prepared to do 5 days of smoothie bowls if you're interested. It's free, it's on my website, you can go check that out. The link again is in the description of this video. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel. I pray this has blessed you. You guys, I'll see you next time.